ready? This message is for Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. One, you should be here right now with your squad. Two, your team about to go down in North Carolina. Let's go! Let's go! USA! USA!
Again, you got to be careful. There's a shot, and there's a goal. First goal for the keeper. Nice spin move here by Lloyd. Lloyd! Another shot and another goal. And yet,
look for the players running off of him. It's a big ask, but
well, there's Trundle able to turn and get another goal. But Trundle able to keep it with the left, and Trundle with his second goal. It's now 5-0.
Yeah, so far so good in this game.
So far so good. Another goal. Trundle. Murkoff trying to move around, and that's going to be a nice pass in a. Murkoff takes that shot with the left
and swinging to make that perfect contact.
And that was.
I mean, it's a fast pace. You know, a lot of these guys have a lot of experience, a lot of goals as well. Like,
here's a turnover. Jarvis, there it is. Game over. 12-0. Wrexham defeats the U.S. women.
Like in today's world, feminism is me sitting in a math class with 50 other boys and having the exact same opportunity as they have. You get me? Feminism is about me finishing high school and going to that job interview and having the exact same chances, opportunities, and time given to me. The same as the 80 other men in that room. That's what feminism is. Not requiring me to go and cheat, not requiring me to go and wear a skirt and flirt with my math teacher to give me marks.
Let me state that I'm 100% for women working what they want and receiving education. But don't be blinded by the supposed glamour, right, of feminism. Because what they don't tell you is that now your labor is added to the workforce. And now you are another person that can be taxed. And now you are help contributing to the society that being a stay-at-home mom is now a luxury that you can't afford. Because now things will get more expensive. Society will cost more because now they're 2 times the workforce. Now you're supposed to be contributing to the workforce. So it has to be added into society where now things will be 2 times as more expensive. Cost of living will cost a whole lot more, which is, you know, if that's how society goes, that's how society goes. But don't be fooled by supposed, the supposed glamour of being another worker in the cog that is society. Because now you are just another worker, another part of the workforce that now the rich can tax, your country can tax you, can now, control you through your labor. So, it's not as glamorous as people make it out to be, right? Being now part of the workforce, being, supposedly educated, I guess it's great freedom.
Here's something you probably didn't know. According to a recent study, women have become unhappier as they've gained more rights. In fact, women are now unhappier than men. But how does that make any sense? Well, take a look around. Women now believe the ideal lifestyle is working inside a cubicle in an office building and living in an overpriced apartment without any children. The highlight of their day is watching Netflix. These women constantly complain they can't find any good men, so they spend their weekends at clubs making simps buy drinks for them. But once these women hit 30 years old, something changes. They notice notice attractive men start paying less and less attention to them. A woman in her 30s is simply too old. So these women become resentful. They blame the patriarchy. And before they know it, they're 40 years old without any children. 1 in 5 go on antidepressants. This is happening to millions of women in America. So do you think these women have been told a lie?
You can start with me, Michelle. That's all good. I know you're not racist, so no concerns here.
Your thoughts on all this?
Well, I feel vindicated because 2 years ago I said that this organization was a disingenuous scam, and it has proven itself to be a disingenuous scam. Yeah. The Black Lives Matter organization, this foundation in the USA, is a grift. They have received millions upon millions of dollars, I believe over $100 million. I think just in 2020, it was close to 100 million. So this organization has been capitalizing off of unfortunate deaths and tragedies and guilt tripping people to send them lots of money and donations, which I believe most people think is going to go to a good cause. And instead, they are paying themselves 6- and 7-figure salaries. They're flying around in private jets. They bought a $6 million mansion. They've got over, what was it? It's written here. I think they invested $32 million in stocks in 2020 with donation money. So this is an outright scam. So when we talk about Black Lives Matter, it's important to note that this is a semantically overloaded phrase intentionally. It refers to at least 3 different things. There is the statement, the basic phrase, Black Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. Everybody agrees, every decent human being around the world, across the political spectrum, agrees that Black Lives Matter because all human lives matter and should be treated with respect and dignity. Mm-hmm. Number 2 is the organization or organizations. I think in the USA, this one we're referring to is the primary Black Lives Matter organization. And a lot of people don't know that there is an organization with founders, with people who are receiving the money. It's a nonprofit, and they've been raking it in. They've been raking in the money over the past few years. And as we've seen here, they have been spending it on enriching themselves. And it's essentially money laundering. I think what they've done here is most likely illegal.
Yeah, so I have to say that they would say in their own defense that they've not done anything wrong.
Well, anyone can look at these articles and these numbers here. Paid the baby father $970,000 for creative services, paid the brother the $840,000 for security. Fellow director got $2.1 million. This is all just in 1 year.
But then,
right?
So
officers kill more white people, twice as many white people, as black people. In shootings where people are armed, they kill more people unarmed, white than black. And here's the thing that people always bring up, where there's more white people. Police officers don't deal with every single person in the population. They deal with the criminal element of the population. If you look at African Americans in America, you know what, we make up 12, 13% of the population, yet we commit over half of the murders in this country, over half of the violent crimes in this country. So the bulk of criminal activity is coming from a small, let me clarify that. 13% of the population is way overblown number. It's more like 6 or 7% of the population. Because when you take out older people, young people, women, it's mostly young men between the age of, 16 and 35 that are doing the bulk of these crimes. So let's say 6% is committing over half of the murders and violent crimes in this country. When you look at it like that, police have an overwhelmingly higher presence in the black community dealing with the criminal element. Yet they shoot more white people than they shoot black people. If you look at the proportionality of numbers, it's actually a less likely chance per capita that you get shot as a black man as opposed to white people in America. And that to me rules out the idea of the racist policing in America.
I met with men's rights activist Karen Strawn late one night in a noisy bar. She became well known for her YouTube videos talking about male disposability and other men's rights issues. And she's a honey badger.
Part of what I do and what I research and what I think about is the reason psychologically why feminism seems to be such a comfortable, warm blanket emotionally for so many people, men and women alike. And it's so comfortable that it will make them not see things that are right in front of their face. Look at Boko Haram.
Hundreds of young girls, fast asleep in their beds, are awakened by the sound of gunfire.
armed attackers have stormed their boarding school and set fire to dozens of buildings. Nearly 300 of them are dragged from their dorm, loaded onto trucks, and carried away deep into the forest.
From New York to London rallied yesterday demanding that the terrorist group Boko Haram bring back our girls. It just gets to the core of you,
This unconscionable act was committed by a terrorist group determined to keep these girls from getting an education. And what happened in Nigeria was not an isolated incident. It is a story we see every day as girls around the world risk their lives to pursue their ambitions.
I mean, you must have heard about that, right? That's being spun as a fundamentalist Islamic group that is so determined to be misogynistic and oppress girls that they want to deny girls an education. But they are not against girls being educated. They're against anybody getting a Western, secular, or Christian education. The initial attacks, and there were several of them, there were over 100 men killed and 1 woman killed. And the victims were described as people, right, or villagers. There were over 100 men killed and 1 woman killed. And the victims were described as people, right, or villagers. And in the previous attacks on the schools, they actually let the girls go. They separated out the boys and girls, and they let the girls go, and they told them, go home, get married, renounce your sins, and live a righteous life under Allah, right? And then they burned the boys alive. There was literally no outrage, right? It was barely reported on. It was one of those things, there was no opinion pieces on it, no nothing, right? Until the girls were kidnapped. And look at it this way, because we played right into their hands, because they want attention, right? And they weren't getting any attention from the Western media when they were just slaughtering boys, right? They want attention. And what do? They kidnap girls and sell them into marriage or slavery, right? And everybody, the UN, Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, the UK government, the Canadian Federal Minister of Defense, right? They're all promising aid and help and equipment and personnel to help find these girls and bring them back, because this is such an outrage and oh my goodness, something needs to be done. Well, maybe if, like last year, maybe if we did something then, all of these girls would be safe in their dorms right now, right? But we didn't. And the reason why they kidnapped those girls is because we didn't do anything. We didn't pay attention. And they want attention, right? And they know that attacking girls or women is going to get them attention. What are we going to do? Start a campaign, bring back our boys. Oh wait, they're dead. Never mind, right? The men, the people in Boko Haram, they're chivalrous. If those girls were boys, they wouldn't be getting education. They'd be dead. They wouldn't be sold into slavery with the hope of escape. They'd be dead.